We are not your children's keepers. You are. Parents and guardians have got to step up. A kid is dead tonight. Not our job to do this. It is unnecessary. You don't have to act like this. Our officers half a block away from before the shooting started, dealing with another group of individuals fighting. We made almost, probably, we're still tallying them, about 20 arrests tonight. Recovered guns that I know of before this happened from 2 kids. One of them was an assault rifle stuffed in the front of his pants. We keep going back to what's the government going to do? What's the city going to do? The city's invested in this. Millions of dollars the city, taxpayers pay for police overtime to staff this 1 square mile area with, there was a couple hundred cops down here between state police and Capitol Police and IMPD and other police department agencies. Yes, we're going to keep doing our job. The city of Indianapolis, government, the police department is going to continue to do our job. We're not going to solve this. Not just by the police.
Have these parents stop parenting? What is going on?
They need the Florida sheriff.
You said what?
I said they need that sheriff that's I think he like in Broward or something. He don't play. So he said he was sending people to the hospital. Like,
oh, I saw that.
So I actually live in Indianapolis, and I saw this, and I actually agree with them. Problem is that you guys wanted to all listen to Oprah, and for me, it's built to ass. Y'all don't whoop y'all kids as much as y'all should be. Y'all thinking like you need to talk to your kids, send them to counseling, and do all this other nonsense. It's built to ass. That's why we have some of these problems. And speaking of that, we used to have Black Expo, which was a big thing here in Indianapolis. There is 1 cop to every 2 people that are here in Indianapolis because guess what? It's a cluster fuck of certain things that are happening in the city. So I actually agree with this cop. Like, y'all not raising y'all kids. And I want to say that he's talking about Black people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can hear it.
I was waiting on him to say it. Like, just say it. Because some people don't like the uncomfortable truth. And we all, just like with the carnival thing, we all knew who the white lady was talking about. We all know who he's talking about. Just come out and say it.
But we know he can't say it because let's say if he does say that, now they're going to take away what his message is and blame, oh, that man's a racist, oh, that woman's a racist. But to look at this, I watched the whole thing basically, and he talked about his daughter. He was like, I know where my daughter is at a certain time. What are these parents basically doing? Like, why aren't y'all scared for y'all's kids this late out at night? Like, I think it's going to get worse. These kids, most of these kids that are raising kids are kids of themselves. That's really the issue. They don't want to be parents. They're not fit to be parents, and they'll rather be out partying than actually being parents.
Built to ass. Built to ass. I agree with that. We've let these kids get away with so much, beat their asses. I'm sorry. That's just me.
But even that doesn't work all the time because I didn't get whoopings growing up, but I didn't have to get in trouble.
No, I'm just saying it's not that. I'm just saying that is another option that is on the table. It's just that you were raised one way. For me, it was built to ass, and I know better. Because I know, hey, if I let my kid out there, if they're not being built to ass out here, someone else is going to do it. That's going to be jail. We can sit over here and be like, hey, I was told this and that, but nah, hey, my dad whooped my ass. And
all kids are different. So all kids are different because we got kids, multiple kids, same parents, same household. One just didn't have a problem. So they could be raised in the same household and still stray away. So it's not just one doing this with different kids. I think sometimes that's the problem.
And I'll also say this. This is another reality we need to. There are no fathers in those households. So I know those kids who are out here being pookies. Like, that's another thing. We can say, oh yeah, but it's like different kids where the fathers at.
We got to stop saying.
But some of these kids got fathers, and the fathers are getting in trouble. I was just talking to a young man, about the program, in my organization that we talking about launching, he don't even want to work with kids, but he did give me insight. And I asked him, what did he think would have helped him? He said, maybe somebody like us, but his dad, he was raised by his dad while he was getting locked up. His dad was getting in trouble too. So we have to go all the way back to the accountability to my generation and the people before me at the end of the
But
day.
but
And we got
but
to
Miss
go
Nikki
the
though,
rest of the way, start over, go the rest of
Miss Nikki
It's
though,
a
it's
lot of
key what you
healing
just
that's
said.
needed in these
Hold on,
households,
Miss
in our
Nikki, what you
households.
just said is key. His dad was in jail, so that's what they all know. I'm just saying, have the right fathers that are raising these kids. You heard me say my dad will whoop my ass. My dad was never in jail. He said, "Hey, if I don't whoop that ass, belt to ass, someone else is going to teach you this." Never in jail, but he told me that, and he
Your dad
showed
is
me.
African though, right?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it do.
No, it doesn't matter. My dad was just omnipresent. No, it doesn't matter. Hey, my dad could be African. He could be white. I could have been raised. It doesn't matter. My dad just told
Culture plays
me,
an impact in that though.
hold on. What is your dad? Is he African?
No, he's Black American.
But he told you, hey, do better, so you know better.
Nobody had to tell me anything though. Like I never had to get talked to growing up, and people in the chat and some of y'all were saying like girls are different than guys, but I never had to be talked to growing up. I never got whoopings. I knew like I wanted to get good grades because I know that made me feel good. There was no inherent, oh, you're gonna get rewarded for this or anything. That was just who I was, and that's still how I am. So the only reason why I say that is because culture does play an impact in it, just like Asian culture plays an impact in how they perform and what their criminal activity is, if it's even existent. African culture has an impact. That's the reason why I mentioned that.
I'm gonna
But
say this.
what I'm also saying though, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. What I'm also saying is that this in black culture, black American dads too, do well. Let's just not say, hey, just because it's like this, they just came up under unfortunate situations for the dad to be in jail. So I also want to give credit to that. Doesn't have to be a certain culture for you to be raised that way. Doesn't
I mean,
have to be
that's.
that.
I think that some of these kids shouldn't even been born. Lock their asses up.
That too, and some of the dads are condoning it. Some of the dads are weak. Some of the moms not letting
Yeah,
dad step
Not
up.
the
it's
children.
it's a
Children
lot of
are
it's a
pure ones.
lot of people that grew up well. I know a lot of niggas that got great moms, great dads, living that are well above middle class. Like I know a lot of niggas that grew up well, still in the streets. It ain't just because the dad ain't home. I know a lot of people who only grew up with their dad.
That's true too.
They daddy. I know a lot of niggas who way tougher and to kick their dad ass. They dad wasn't never in the streets, and they still in the streets. There's so many factors, and it could be environment, it could be circumstance. It's different. There's
Everything
different
boils
parts to
down
it.
to
Don't get
circumstances.
me
And
wrong. Don't get me wrong. The dad is needed in the household. That's a whole nother conversation. But if we talking about have parents stop parenting, it's partly what Simba was saying. It ain't enough built to ask. Basically, this generation took their foot off the gas. Like, that's why everybody doing what the fuck they want. It's a free for all. Everybody just like
Well, there was also laws passed a while back saying that we couldn't whoop our kids anymore either. And they would encourage the kids to call DFS on us if we discipline them or if we whoop them. We used to get whooped. We used to get spankings in school. I got spankings all the way up to high school in class. People, I'm not saying
yeah,
me, I'm saying us as a
no for
whole.
sure.
They were
But
still why they called it
That was
swatting
a
at
some kids
school.
don't have to get whooped
that was
though.
a
That's
that
why
was
we just
Well,
condemn.
no, not everybody got whooped, but some need
that
to
was
get
a
under
that was
No,
an
no.
unspoken
Some of
thing
them
though.
need more than whoopings. It's too late for them. Some of them are too past whoopings. They need to be locked up. They
Well,
need to be.
no, right. Well, yeah, now I'm just saying how part of the reason how we got here. And I think I don't know if some parents, I can't say,
to me,
I don't know
whooping.
if some parents gave up when they was like, basically the government was like, you whoop your kids, we taking them from you, whoop de whoop whoop. And people just kind of, you didn't see people really putting their hands on their kids, disciplining them in the grocery stores no more. You didn't see none of that.
No,
Then
but
you would see kids getting checked.
well, so it's not.
I still
A
see
lot
it.
of the time,
No,
I feel like let me say this. I
no, go
feel
ahead, sis.
like even with the whole, I'm not gonna make this a conversation about spankings or whooping or whatever you want to call it. But I do believe that that is a huge trauma response. Like even like I personally don't agree with whooping anymore. I feel like it just makes a child angrier.
I do.
I mean, I got whooped and it made me angrier. So it didn't
But
solve anything. It didn't heal anything. But
did you
but
deserve it?
so it's not even
Did you deserve your butt whooped though? Or did you feel like you could have still done better without the whooping? Or do you think that that ass whooping got you in line and you was like, okay, mama, dad, I'm not gonna do that no more?
it definitely didn't get me in line.
It did.
I mean, I wasn't never a bad kid or anything anyway, but it would be just things of like in school, talking too much or teacher
Well,
called home or things like that. But no, now I'm not saying that certain kids like I agree with what Miss Nikki said. Every child is different. Every child requires a different method or whatever the case may be. But I feel like a lot what's going on, the root of it is healing. It's so much trauma that is compact in these households that's not being dealt with, that's not being talked about. Like I remember when I used to work in a school system. When I first graduated high school, I volunteered at a elementary school until I eventually became hired. And I started off as a tutor, then I went to a mentor, then I went to a teacher's assistant. But with that, I was working with a lot of different students, and I was really seeing that, like, oh my goodness, just the amount of attention and just the, like, for example, I was in a class with, just really quick, one student. I will never forget him. He really stood out to me. He had behavior issues, but straight A's, super smart, done with his work in a couple of minutes. But he was always talking, always, quote what the teacher would say, causing problems. I didn't look at it as causing problems. I look at it as he's bored, or he needs more attention, or whatever the case may be. But I feel like we're not. I know Q made the comment, lock them up, lock their ass up, it's too late, et cetera, et cetera. I get that.
For some of
Personally, I just feel like, not saying you're the problem, but I feel like just that mindset is the reason why it's gotten to this point.
I
Like,
think you need to know when to administer a butt whooping. I think people are skipping the steps of discipline, and a lot of parents become parents without any disciplinarian type of characteristics. You forget that you become a parent because you want to raise a child to become a model citizen for the community in which they're not going to stay children forever. God forbid, but we are going to be adults longer than we are children. And those times are crucial to behavior, to emotional intelligence, to curriculum, academics, all of that. And I'll tell you, I see a lot of, especially in our community, we say a lot of fathers not in the household. Well, forget saying that. Why ain't the kids in the father's household? You know what I'm saying? It's like the fathers are not around, but then again, these fathers are not men. So how can you expect a man to be a father if he never became a man first? And then you leave these women, especially for these young boys, they call them YNs now. And the cop just mentioned about having a rifle in their pants. That's specific to the black community because they hide big guns like that. There's a difference between children that rebel and children that become murderers, children that become attempted murderers, children that become abusers. And I think that we don't know how to apply the corrective action to certain things that children do. And when we don't attack it straight on like this gentle parenting, I don't believe in that. I got that buck on that Calvin Klein, and I snapped that motherfucker all through the house. Let me tell you, to do something 3 times in a row. I'm bringing that belt, and I put it. I don't care who heard me say it, because sometimes, and then you don't even have to use it. Sometimes kids they need to fear consequences, because in the world there are going to be consequences administered to you I would never do to you, but ain't nobody gonna love you like your mama. But people, we got to prepare these children out here for what's to come. And I feel like a lot of parents need to really think, how can I discipline my child versus how to be friends or how to, not dismissing things. Because if we don't, children are our future. So if we don't get them in line, who gonna take care of us when we get old?
I feel like we just have to get to the
Kids,
you have to really highlight what is the outcome
When y'all
We have
mama
to highlight what is the outcome that we're looking for. What is it that we're trying to do?
But
Are
before
we
you can
trying to
even get
instill
to an
fear?
outcome,
Are we trying to like what are we
Yes,
you,
trying to do? Like
but
yes.
before you can
what are
get to an
we
outcome, you got to get the moms to let the dads be involved. Most of these men ain't involved because they're not allowed to be involved.
They're not allowed.
Most of the moms, they want to praise when their child is doing good. They cut off communications with the dad, but when the son is outside being a YN, they want to blame the father. So it's like, when are the women going to
in some
be
cases?
held
I think
accountable?
that's reversed. I think the fathers that are preventing them own selves from being present in their children's lives end up being the fathers of the children that become dangerous. I don't think there are women that prevent their children or children's fathers being in their life as a
There
good father.
are.
Because I won't deny that, but I will say if you are a good father and you know you are a good father, and there are people that can attest to that, and you feel that you cannot parent your child, you are suffering from parent alienation, which is another word for what you
You
just
want him to
described.
fight for something that he's supposed to already have access to?
But
How's
that's the
that
thing.
even
What
fair?
happens
You
when
want
you're
him to
not
go
parent?
to the courts,
Yep,
spend
that's what
money,
you
and
have to
still
do.
be denied.
Well, no, you can't be, because in certain cases when you can prove parental alienation, when you can
No.
provide evidence to
It's
the
at
court,
the
hey,
it
this is
doesn't
what's
matter
happening.
how much proof you take to the courthouse, it's at the discretion of the judge. Ask me how I know, I know. So
Well, I'm sure, but there's a
most
lot of
men are
women.
not they're not being able to be the men they need to be in these
Well,
boys'
we have to point
lives.
out the men that do not take the court route. We have a lot of men that will
I feel like
complain.
that's the
But
minority. I don't feel
that's
like
the
that's the
thing. Why do they
majority.
have to? My question is, why do men have to fight? Why do women keep the men away and make them go through all that just to be in the child's life? And soon as these sheriffs on this news channel saying these young men out here doing that, you want to call the dad, your son outside running around the streets.
We
No,
gonna
he
tell
should have been in the child life when he was 7, 8, 6,
we're
around
gonna
10.
tell you. We're gonna tell you. You shouldn't have to call the damn daddy. The person that should be contacted is the father. The fathers, if you have to hunt down the dad, it's like, why do you have to hunt them down? But if you are also saying that it's the fathers that are being prevented, if you're being prevented, it's because you impregnated a woman who didn't respect you in the first place. So expect that continuous thing cycle to go on. Now you have a child with the woman that you can't even, or children with the woman, you can't even say, hey, we need to look at the bigger picture. Our son, our daughter is going down the wrong path, and it could cost them
But
their life.
you
You
saying
have to go through the courts
you saying that having
before you
babies
can.
by you saying they don't respect the man. Half of these men can't see their child because new relationships, new marriages, a new person around. They feel like they don't want this new woman to be the mom. So most of the time women aren't allowing these men to be around, and that's really what the culture is. And
I just
a
Hey,
lot
well,
of
you
women
know, most
aren't.
Miss K, hold on. The only person I can probably, I don't know Demonte if he has a kid or whatnot, but I'll ask Anton because he's a father. Anton, how have you been able to? You're raising a
Anton
child
not
right
a
now,
part of
right?
this.
No, no,
Anton not a
hold on,
part of
no,
this.
hold on, no. But
Anton
he's a
married a
father though.
virgin.
Not a
He's a.
Anton
part
don't have a
You can't
baby
say no.
mama.
He's a father.
Anton
Hold
has a
on,
wife.
hold on. I know that, but
he
I'm
didn't say
also asking from that perspective. That's the thing. We try to miss that perspective, and we try to go to the extreme. Anton, you're a father right now. How have you maintained to make sure that your daughter comes home and she is an upstanding citizen
He
in
did it
this
right.
world?
He did it
Um,
right.
he wasn't a
I
baby
have
daddy.
never. I've only given my daughter one whooping in her entire life.
Okay.
Um, but I think that the more impactful thing is that, and I say this a lot, is that I think that children a lot of times, and this is one of the reasons. Look, I don't think that there is only one solution. I think that the biggest impact is that there are not two parent households.
Okay.
That is
Mhm.
the biggest problem in the community is that there are not two parent households because I think that all of y'all have a point, but the problem is that like is it Jerry? I don't know if Jerry said it or Nikki. And Jerry, Nikki, Mercedes, all of y'all was saying it that there is no all kids are not the same. So one kid can get one whooping and another kid may need consistent discipline depending on, their personality type. But if you don't have people to balance out that masculinity and that femininity in the household, and then you have to treat men differently than you treat women, which is one of the reasons why you have to have a strong man inside of the household. I think that one of the most impactful things for my daughter is that she sees the way that I've treated her mother.